banana. Okay.
Howdy do, neighbor. What's up, everybody? All you homies out there. I'm DJ Crispy, Joey Crispy, and here's another solo review of another movie that I just saw, Joker. Everybody's hyping this movie like crazy. I wanted to give it a more realistic look by giving it the classic Crispy signature review. Obviously, spoilers ahead. I do love to talk into it in full detail, and sometimes my mind just goes to stuff that I wouldn't think that people would notice about the detail. But hey, it's okay. When your mind's floating like that, you kind of just get right down to it, and maybe some of it's subliminal. But I really, I was kind of in the middle ground on this one, balancing. I don't know exactly how I feel about it yet. Part of me wants to this is an immediate review after I just watched it in the theater. I was getting looks because of the purple jacket. People were looking at me like I was going to do something, but come on. That's what this kind of does, like this type of movie, like with a comic villain that's so out there, like Joker is, and known, and connected to people. People always make some kind of a social commentary on it. And this movie was definitely reflective of the current social commentary of, the billionaire class, the widening wealth gap, like all these political issues that are being talked about right now. And even the Joker, while he was on TV, was like, I'm not political, Murray. Do you think I'm political? And at first, I just thought that De Niro being in the movie was pretty cool. I think he fits the role of a late night host kind of well. I was actually confused, if the movie was in the 60s or 70s. It seemed like early 70s to me, and it seemed like everything was getting out of hand. But it was still talk show era where people just go home and then watch TV at night, and that's it. And, it really widened the scope on the Joker's upbringing. And obviously it was messed up. I wanted to feel bad for him, but I feel like the movie was pushing it on you, to feel bad for him. But through the course of the second half or the third act, obviously you're probably not going to feel too bad for him because of the stuff he's doing. And a lot of people didn't like it because it was so dark. I think it was refreshing that we have a new movie that is balancing the equation, if you will, in terms of not being all happy-go-lucky all the time, when it doesn't really reflect how everyone currently feels. This movie is a little more accurate, I think, in terms of the realism of the world. And, ever since the 2000s, there's just been this need for all the movies out there to be as realistic as possible. Basically, I think, my theory is that ever since movies became good enough looking in terms of the film, you could see people's wrinkles and stuff like that, they decided to make every single movie with actors and actresses and make it as realistic as possible. Hence all the superhero movies coming from comics and cartoon shows like Justice League and Batman Beyond, and then now making the Batman trilogy and Dark Knight. I'm not really a fan of that kind of stuff. I love DC, so I really enjoyed the Justice League cartoon, and the Joker that I knew was always coming up with some kind of a plot. And sometimes he didn't even care to accomplish it as long as he's messing with Batman. That's his goal. And it was interesting to see some backdrop on Joker being an adult as a human around the time that Batman was a child, and having a connection of like first he was thinking, spoiler, first he was thinking that Bruce was his brother because he thought that Master Wayne was getting it on with his mom. And then he finds out that his mom was narcissistic and thought that Mr. Wayne was with him, but really not. She was just crazy and trying to get him to like take care of her, I guess. And she basically wasn't even able to take care of her child, her adopted child, hence Joker. I think he went a little overboard with killing his mom. I mean, like a lot of people, I was like looking over at people and everybody was like, ugh, what the hell? That's like terrible. And I just thought that was a little over the top. The one thing that like was gruesome was when he like stabbed his like old clown coworker with scissors. I thought they were like the only thing that they left out was like how he got the scars. Like the scar thing was kind of big in Dark Knight trilogy with Heath, and they didn't really explain it. Like they kind of like led on to it, like he was like doing the makeup and stuff and put on the green crap in his hair, which who knows why it's green, or who knows how he got the suit even. They didn't explain that because he's pretty poor. And then like he's doing all the makeup and stuff, but he has the scissors. And I thought he was gonna like cut his like mouth out with the scissors, but instead he just like jams them into his like old coworker who's like asking about the murders. And I think there's a couple plot holes. I mean, I don't think that they closed them because he was getting chased by the police and they knew his name. Like they knew who he was. And even Murray on TV when Joker was on the live like late night show, like he said like, Arthur, like you gotta be kidding me, you killed those 3 boys. It just didn't, like, to me, like, they would find him. But I guess they did. They did find him. So yeah, I guess he didn't care about his, like, real world persona being affected by it. And, I mean, it showed a disconnect. It was a disconnect from him in society, as in the beginning everybody was picking on him. So nobody understood how he was, or who he was, or why he thought things were funny. And then he just started to like go down this like psychosis of like totally breaking with the norms of society because the way that he sees everything is different. And he was like writing in his journal like, and like the funny thing is that like like when people think that you have a mental illness, like they expect you to be what you're not. And like there's just jokes in there that he thought were funny. Like basically he would laugh when people in society would do things that would not be like nice or compassionate, like when he was like playing with the kids, like I'm messing with you, my face. And then his mom was like, "Would you stop talking to my son?" And he was just laughing because why would, like, how could people, how have people stooped so low to, throw somebody with a mental illness out of a window? And that seems to be the theme. Like the 2 big themes are like the wage gap in the classes, which everybody took it to extremes in the protests, and then like people ignoring mental health. And I think those were the main themes of the movie for modern, contemporary 2019 times. All in all, I thought it was okay. I would like to see more backstory villain stuff from DC. I think if they focus more on villains and kept it dark, that's kind of what they're good at. Maybe they should just keep doing that. I think they might try a couple more things because this was a little bit successful. I know a lot of people didn't like it though. I was like a little above average, so I thought it was pretty decent. I might have to see it again. I think it's worth a second watch if I would have to like give it a rating. Like watch it twice and like filter through to see if it's something you want to watch. And yeah, if I see more realism out of Hollywood in terms of like real world adaptations of comic books, I'll probably give it a watch. but I really want some out of control stuff. And let's go crazy with animation. How about that? So, Joker wasn't funny. Basically. We'll see you. Overall rating, Joker on the funny scale, not funny at all. I mean, there was like one part that might have been funny, but like it wasn't funny. And I mean, what do you think about it? That's kind of what I want to know, because you know, I'm just one guy that has his own perspective. But if you guys all argue about it, just don't cause a protest on the feed about whether or not the billionaire class should be taken out. Because I'm sure that's already happening. But, you know, whatever you think is good, too. So yeah, comment, let me know what you think. And check out Crispy's collections in all of our videos right here on the channel. Peace.